Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning. My name is Daniel Barker. Welcome to episode 3 of my podcast. I know I look a little unruly tonight. Sorry about that. I seem to struggle finding time to record episodes, but we made it to episode 3, so that's a good thing. Anyway, let's jump right into it. So, first and foremost, the president has decided that he is going to reduce the number of immigrants allowed into the United States under refugee status to about 7,500. And special preference will be given to the South African farmers who happen to be white, who were running for their lives because they're being genocided by their people in their home country. So obviously the media ran with it and said it's racist. It's what they do. They claim that there's so many people waiting at our southern border who have already applied under refugee status, and they haven't been let in yet. Horrible, horrible, horrible. It couldn't have anything to do with the fact that we have caught multiple people going down there and teaching people how to game the system so they could get in under refugee status, right? And that now refugee applications have to go under extra rounds of approval because we can't trust that's why they're actually there. Right? I'm sure nothing's wrong there. I'm sure there's nothing nefarious going on there. But the people who are literally getting genocided by their own people, state-sponsored terrorism is what it essentially is. But we don't care about them. Why? Because they're white. I'll read for you this report real quick out of the senior fellow at the American Immigration Council posted on Twitter, X. Since the U.S. refugee program was created in 1980, it has admitted over 2 million people fleeing ethnic cleansing and other horrors. That's what's going on with the farmers in South Africa. Anyway, now it will be used as a pathway for white immigration. What a downfall for the crown jewel of America's international humanitarian programs. Also, just a little tidbit for you. Whenever you hear someone who has a half-normal sounding name and they just start posting anti-white stuff, yeah, he is too. Anyway, moving on. You're racist because you want them to be here. You want them to be safe and not be slaughtered by their countrymen. So you racist piece of garbage. How could you? And how could we tighten immigration restrictions because not everyone was coming here for the reasons that they said? Oh my gosh, how could this have happened? You mean people came here under different reasons than what they said they were going to come to America for? It wasn't just coming here because the land of opportunity and we give you a lot of free stuff for being here? Oh my gosh, why would people lie about that? In other news, Congress still can't pass a budget, so SNAP expired yesterday and we haven't been paying the troops. But don't you worry. Senate Democrats passed a resolution to block Trump's tariffs. And that sounds like, cool, go them. We shouldn't be putting tariffs, international liberals scream. We should be working together collaboratively so that we can pursue an idea of democracy and freedom for all. Except it's not going to go anywhere. It was a Senate Democrat-led resolution that is going to die upon arrival with House Republicans. So it was showboating. So you came back, did nothing for the American people yet again, except wasted time and taxpayer dollars so you could basically said something that was a symbolic middle finger to the president. Congratulations. You're quoted as saying that you're using the military as a bargaining chip to get a better budget deal. And by the way, the budget deal that the Senate Democrats, Republicans, House, the budget that we cannot agree on is because Republicans want the Build Back Better budget, which is already billions upon billions dollars more than we should be spending. And Democrats want even more. That's what this budget impasse is. It's, can we spend a lot more of your money or even more of your money? We want to get our nation in debt either by a decent amount or an insane more amount. And actually, the Build Back Better budget was record levels of spending. So it's insane or twice as insane. That's why. Because the people you elected who don't work for you are mad because they want to spend even more of your money. But don't you go worry, guys. All the old Republicans will look at me and say, well, it's just those Democrats. Just those Democrats. It's not just those Democrats. It's Republicans, too. They're all on board because they kowtow at whatever the speaker and the president tells them. They want to spend your money, too. They just dress it up better and say some stupid Christian lingo so you buy it. And then they paint the other party like they're villains. Conservatives don't conserve anything. And they haven't in years. It's time we let that delusion ride off into the sunset, ride off into the nursing home. And so in a couple years, we won't have to hear that kind of stupidity anymore. And furthermore, just so we're clear, if you're an elected official who takes money from a foreign nation, a foreign lobbyist group on behalf of a foreign nation, I want you gone. Gone, period. I don't care who you are. If you take $5 from AIPAC, I want you out. I'm so anti-foreign lobbying, it's ridiculous. And yeah, AIPAC is primarily one of them. In fact, like, genuinely, I'm at this point where, like, all you have to do is tell me, be like, hey, I don't hate America. I don't want to replace all of our social institutions. And, you know, I'm not going to take any money from a foreign lobbyist group. And I'll probably vote for you. You know, I don't want a New York situation where a Muslim socialist is about to completely take over the state, and then when reporters question them, the best thing they can do, asking a question about a governor who is an employee of the state, is what are your thoughts are on Israel, which should show you that this country is just so totally messed up. But I mean, I don't want state-run grocery stores and things like that. But you know, as long as you really don't hate the country and you're not going to strip away essential freedoms, I'll probably vote for you. I mean, Senator Fetterman and Senator McCormick, my two state senators here in Pennsylvania, between the two of them have over $600,000 from AIPAC. Opposite sides of the aisle. Same funding source. So that should tell you, they don't work for you. Congressman Kelly, my congressman in my district, over $100,000 from AIPAC, and he's going again. He's been in Congress for 14 years, I think, something like that. He's seeking re-election next year. I want him gone. I'm going to vote against whoever runs against him. I'll vote for. As long as, like I said, they don't hate America and they don't take money from AIPAC. If you meet those two qualifications and you don't suck utterly as a candidate, I'll probably vote for you. I just don't want someone who I don't believe is loyal to the United States. And do you know why I don't believe any of them are loyal? For one, Congressman Kelly, why wasn't his name on the Epstein release? Why wasn't his name on the petition to release the files related to the most prolific sex trafficker in human history that we know of? Why didn't you sign on? A Republican introduced it. But the president and speaker seem to have a vested interest in making sure that those files go absolutely nowhere. Why? Are you on the list? If you're not, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. I mean, genuinely, if you're not on the list, go ahead and put your name on there. And then they go ahead and point fingers at Democrats, saying, oh, well, you guys could have done it under Biden. I don't care who does it under who. I just want it done. I want to know the prominent people who are disgusting, evil people that should be removed from public life and jailed for the rest of their lives, if not worse. I want to know that I'm not surrounding myself with genuinely evil people who are going to harm children. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. This is a problem. This is a problem we need to solve. Anyway. On to my next one, probably my biggest one of the night, the big thing that I've I enjoy talking about that I want to talk about. You now cannot get away from Israeli propaganda no matter what you want to do. Because, especially if you live in the Southwest, a new firm created called Show Faith by Works is going to start geofencing churches. They're going to start geofencing actual boundaries of every major church in California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, and Christian colleges during worship time. And then track attendees and continue to target them with ads on behalf of Israel. If you don't know what geofencing is, oh my gosh, I just knocked my speaker out. If you don't know what geofencing is, it works like this. If you ever gone by a Target and then all of a sudden you get ads for things at Target and you're like, wow, that's weird. I never even went into the store. How do they know I was there? They ping your geolocation off of a set area around a store, basically, and then they use that to send ads directly to you. That's what Israel wants to start doing with churches. Do you know why? I mean, you should know why. It's because they've lost younger Christians. We're completely out of the game with them. We want nothing to do with them. We think they're evil. We think they're problematic. And we don't believe they're the real Israelis. Especially when you stop genetic testing because, the Palestinians were testing as more Semitic than you occupying evil force, trying to drag God into your conflicts. But yeah, so they're going to start basically shoving Israel down your throats. This is also part of a larger $3.2 million contract, which is going to be paying pastors and social media figures to promote Israel all across the United States. Like when they said they were going to give social media influencers $7,000 per post, as long as they were pro-Israel. Don't worry, won't be me. Number one, I'm not big enough. Number two, I don't like Israel. But yeah. They're also including a mobile museum, which is going to talk about the horrors of October 7th and how evil, anti-Palestine and how evil Hamas is. Like, we don't already know that Hamas bad. People seem to have a real hard time going, Hamas bad, but that doesn't mean Israel good. I don't know why. That's like there can be more than one bad guy. But yeah. That's what they're going to do. You can't escape the propaganda now. You can't even go to church without hearing about this evil, murderous nation who wants to genocide every one of their political opponents, who has been spying on America for quite a long time and selling that information, who doesn't even provide us with good intel, although people claim that they're an amazing intelligence organization. They are, just for their own ends. They sell our information to Russia and China, but they want to keep talking about how they're good for America and our best allies. They've killed American journalists. They've sunk our American ships. They seem to have a really hard time dodging civilian casualties. Oh, where is that article? Let me see if I can. Oh, I guess I can't find it right now. But anyway, I was literally just reading an article about... Oh, here it is. Yes, I found it. It was the same. It was in the Mobile Museum. The Mobile Museum will refer to the trailer confirmed. They basically visit Christian colleges and churches, highlighting the atrocities from Hamas on October 7th, as well as footage from IDF agents explaining the difficulty of fighting bad guys in hostile territory with civilians. Guys, it's just so hard to stop shooting journalists. I don't know. It's so hard to not blow up friendly ships. It's just so hard to not to blow up hospitals when there might be like a Hamas agent or two in there. Guys, they hide under hospitals, so the only thing we could do was kill everyone in the hospital. Can't figure out any way around that. Gotta murder everybody. But yeah, no, we're God's chosen people. Give us more money. And if you don't, you're anti-Semitic. But genuinely, long story short, stop giving these people your money. Just stop. Stop giving, and not only that, stop giving these people your vote. Stop giving these people who are openly going to sell their souls for the highest bidder and for a nation smaller than New Jersey, which has genocidal tendencies. Stop. Just stop. Stop with the madness. Genuinely, I don't want to have to wait until the majority of, the baby boomers pass away so we can finally make this change, because at this point, that's kind of who's holding us up. Because they still have these completely skewed views talking about how they're still God's chosen people. I'm just over it. But it's not, look, it's not all pointless. It's not all over. We can still turn this around. But we have to be serious. We have to seriously pay attention to our elected officials who come into Congress, who come into the Senate, who run for the presidency. We have to pay attention every step along the way, and we have to constantly be watching. And when they slip up, they need to be reminded to fall back in line. We cannot have people growing old in Congress. If you screw up, if you don't vote the way I want you to, you need to get out. I don't care what special interest will market. Look at their voting record. Pay attention to who your elected officials really represent. And if it's not you and your values, remove them from office. We don't have to have this. It should not be a thing that incumbents have an 85% chance of getting reelected or running unopposed to begin with. We can change that. We can absolutely change that. But you have to care enough. The whole we don't talk politics in this household has to go out the window. Because politics talks about you. You think politics doesn't talk about you? You can't even go to church in the Southwest anymore without getting Israel ads. They know about you. They pay attention to you. Why don't you pay attention to them? We now live in an age where we have the ability to place our elected officials under a microscope and watch everything they do. And they hate it. And then your best reasoning is, well, I don't really like to pay attention to politics. I'm sorry, get rid of that. What is that? It's affecting your lives. And truthfully, the world that you leave to your children is your fault. It is. The world that you leave to your children is your fault. For better or for worse, it lies partially on you. So you need to make sure that you are paying attention and making the best decisions for the people that you brought into this world going forward. Ignorance is not an option. We have to do better so that the generation after us can do even better. We have to keep looking forward at the world we're going to leave so we can instill that in the younger generation so they keep looking forward. Because, I'll be honest, as someone in their mid-20s right now, it is a really hard thing to look forward. I don't know how to do it. A lot of us don't. The situation seems pretty dark and bleak, and so a lot of us are really struggling trying to figure out how we're going to make a place in this world. Everything's more expensive than we can afford. Housing prices are through the roof. Car prices are astronomical. We don't even know how we're going to be able to travel. If you live rural like I do, traveling's a necessity. I can't just walk to work. That's just physically not possible. The price of groceries, the price of everything has gone up. And we don't, there is nothing being left down. There's nothing being handed down to the younger generation. So genuinely, a lot of us don't know how we're going to try and get through this life, but we're trying. And that's honestly my message to the younger generation, is that as we go forward, my generation, as we go forward, as we have kids, as we try to make a life in this world, constantly don't be like the baby boomers and think, oh, we got all these things, now let's shut the door behind us. We need to be looking ahead going, what kind of world are our kids, or our grandkids, or our great-grandkids going to grow up in? And if that isn't your mindset already, make it your mindset. Even for those of us who don't have kids, like I don't have children yet, but that is something I think about constantly. About how I need to make a world that allows for my children to be better than me. There's nothing wrong with having a work ethic or struggling a little bit. That breeds character. We all know it does. But I want to make it so that my children have the ability to be so much better than I ever was. But what that means now is I vote for people who want to make America better. That's what that means. That means that I pay attention to the politicians that sit over me, who I cast my vote for. And that means when they do things I don't like, I voice my opinion, and then I immediately vote against them if they continue to ignore me. That is how this entire generation should treat your elected officials. Vote against them. Just take them out of power. We can. We have the ability to do it. We're going to be a huge voter base. We already are a huge voter base. That's why everyone markets to us so hard. Especially because a lot of us are issue voters and not just right or left-wing voters like the generations before us. We pull a lot of the vote. It's time to start acting like we do. It's time to start voting to make this world a better place. All right. That's all I got for tonight. That's enough of my ramblings. I'm glad I got to my third episode. I know it was like a week later than my first two were. I'm a little behind on that. I'm trying to balance my schedule, learn how to basically just do a better job at what I'm doing already. And, that's a little tough considering just all the other side projects I have right now. It's a lot. But I am glad I was able to do this. I want to continue to be able to do this. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any content that you think I should cover, if you have anything you think might be a good idea for me to take a look at, if there's anything you want to hear my opinion on, leave it in the comments section. Tell your friends. Please share this. Get subscribers. I don't know. I'm not a huge social media guy, so I don't know how to market myself all the time. I'm just some guy who sort of kind of looks like Ian Carroll half the time, but probably does less than half the research. Anyway, that's all I got for the evening. Thank you. God bless. Christ is King. And have a good night.